nothing. Here we go. How you doing, sweetheart? Man, I am so beat. I just totally forgot to get something together on. Hi, Leo. How you doing? Hi, cutie. How's it going? I am so not together today. Y'all, please forgive me. I was supposed to get this person's picture up. Shoot. I may have to do it without his picture. Man, I'm not ignoring anybody. I just can't see my screen right now. So please forgive me. I'm trying to get it together. I've been watching these kids today and I just let the day get away from me. But oh goodness gracious, is that what he looks like? Ugh, I don't want to see that. Where is his face? Let me get his face. Let's see. Where is this dude's picture at? With his funny looking self. Somebody called him Mr. Bean. I can't find his picture now. That's what I get for falling asleep. I sit here and fell asleep waiting to go live. That's a doggone shame. That is a shame. Uh-oh. Where'd my StreamYard go? There it is. I'm tripping, y'all. Hi, everybody. Hi, Dawn. Oh, my goodness. Hi, Tawana. Hi, QT. Let's see. Retretta. Let's see. Yolanda. Carlos. Hi, Carlos. Hi, Laverne. Man, I was trying to get this person's picture up, and I am not together. I'm telling you the truth. I look a mess. I feel a mess. Don says, I've had my 6-year-old granddaughter at 5:30 a.m. the past few mornings. I understand. Beat. Girl. Oh my God. I'm telling you, these kids. And I got them from a year old to 11. Hi, Camille. I am so behind. Hi, Urban. How are you, love? I am so behind trying to get this guy's picture up that I am completely at odds. Let me see. How could I get it real quick? I'll just jump over here to this page. I'm trying to get the picture of the juror that I'm going to talk about today. If you guys haven't heard about that Diddy juror that went on that tour, that interview tour. You know, some people just ain't got plain and common sense. When a judge tells you don't do this, don't do that, you don't turn around and do it. It just don't make sense. What are you trying to prove, dude? What exactly are you trying to do besides end up getting in trouble? You know what I'm saying? And I had his picture, and I'll be doggone if I cannot find it now. But he sure did. He went on a tour. He went on CNN talking, running his mouth, and just totally screwed everything up. Everything, everything, everything. Oh, but my goodness. I hope y'all had a wonderful day today. It's Wednesday, um, Wednesday the 9th. This year is going by so fast. I can hardly believe it. It is crazy to me. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me do a Google search. Diddy. Okay. I'm not looking for the verdict. I already know the verdict. Uh-oh, that ain't what I. Well, that was messed up. Oh my God, I actually booted myself out. Oh, goodness gracious. QT says, I haven't kept up with it. Does him going on interview tour affect the juror's decision? Or did they deliver a verdict already? No, they haven't delivered. Well, they've delivered the verdict, QT, but this cat goes out on an interview tour and starts talking about stuff that he ain't got no business talking about. You know how the judge tells you, you know, before they before they leave, on breaks or whatever, please don't discuss this with each other. Don't talk to don't look at the internet, don't look at television, don't look at anything about the trial, this, that, and the third. And this guy does something just totally stupid and blurts out everything that they talked about. Charles says, Auntie Mickey, the trial is over. The jurors can talk to whoever they want. They can even write a book if they want. Google. I understand that, Charles, but this guy revealed that they were talking during the trial. I'm not talking about after the trial. What they were discussing, he pretty much revealed that they broke the rules in a sense. And with that said, the judge could actually overturn the verdict according to the rules. Um, Let me say hi to everybody before I get started. Let's see here. I see you, Charles. Faith, how you doing, Faith? Fonda, how you doing, Fonda? Let's see. I see QT, Urban, Barbara. Hi, Barbara. How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, I know that they can talk after the trial, but it's what he talked about. Basically, he said in a nutshell that they were conversing. What was the verdict? They said, what was it? Not guilty on count one, which was the RICO. Guilty on count two, which was uh, prostitute. Count three, I'm talking off the top of my head now. Count three was sex trafficking. Number four was another version of prostitute, and count five was something else. Hi, Melody. But nevertheless, he was found not guilty on 3 counts and guilty on 2 counts. Uh, the biggest one was the RICO, the racketeering part. But this guy goes on this interview uh, tour discussing what was done during the trial, and that's where the problem lies, is that they get instructions on what they can and can't do during the trial, and he pretty much reveals through his talking that everyone was pretty much talking amongst each other, which is a big no-no. So now it's a big deal, and it didn't have to be. If the guy would have just not said anything yet and waited for whatever to take place, maybe things wouldn't be such a hassle right now. Oh, and also, initially he claimed to be not tied to any law enforcement. Right, Faith. Well, here's the thing: this alternate juror allegedly denied having any ties to law enforcement twice. Twice. But he actually works with the UN Counterterrorism Office, which partners with US agencies. That means they work with law enforcement. So if he lied, that's perjury. And if he spoke post trial, then that means he could be held in contempt. You leaving, Charles? Oh man, why you leaving me, Charles? You going back to the casino? Okay, Charles. Well, you have a wonderful time, sweetheart. Actually protected by God, that's probably the case now because of this guy. He pretty much exposed the whole jury in a nutshell. Hi, Retretta. How are you, sweetie? He really just exposed the whole jury. Hi, be kind. Almost snuck by me there. It's really a bad situation. It's not good at all. I mean, he's put the judge in a position to basically to where he can overturn. And let me pull up my information because I did take a picture of it. But before I get started, let me just tell everybody hello. I hope that you had a wonderful day today. I'm not feeling all that great. Feel a little under the weather right now, so I don't plan to stay very long. But I did want to come by and say hello and let y'all know I love you. Exactly, protected by God. That is exactly it. Hi, Jess. Just getting off work, huh? Okay. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. I just feel like uh, I'm not feeling too good today, Fonda. I'll be honest with you. I'm not feeling good. But I'm going to muddle through this. I'm going to muddle through it nevertheless. I need to just go lay down for a while and take a load off my back. Thank you, Urban. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, October 2nd is sentencing. How are you, Melody? I'm glad to see you. Yeah, I gotta shake that devil off. Boy, that devil is all up in my back right now. Oh, great, 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 great gracious. But I'm just trying to get my little information set up here. I did record uh, two of the interviews, and this guy just sounds like he's not too bright. He can't be. He really can't be. But basically, the question was, thank you, Melody. I will. Vegas is coming down on me. How you doing, Doodle Bird? How are you, sweetheart? So good to see you. Welcome to Auntie Mickey's house. Kick back, relax, take your shoes off. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Tawana says, be careful. There is a really bad bug virus going on, and it took me 10 to recover. Really? Wow. I can't afford to be down for 10 days. I just can't. But I'm going to muddle through this anyway. LaWanda says, lady down. I'm going to lady down. All right. Lay down and turn your gospels on low. Say a prayer and you will be asleep in no time. Exactly. That's my plan. Retretta says his attorneys are meeting to get it moved to September. Auntie FYI. Thank you for telling me that because I kept hearing October. Yeah. Thank you, Urban. Thank you. Another corona strand. Really? Is there another strand of coronavirus out there? Oh, Lord. I hope I didn't bring that stuff back from Vegas. 'Cause I feel awful. I ain't gonna lie. I feel awful. No, honey, I didn't, Retretta. And I should have. I got too comfortable not wearing one. Maybe I should have. That was a full flight, too. So it's just like I'm trying to breathe and trying to talk, and it's taking all my air, and my back hurts when I try to breathe. Yeah, I probably did. But I'm gonna muddle through this anyway. Okay. Yes, it can. It definitely can wear you down, Dawn. That is so true. So true. But the question was posed, uh, if a judge could overturn a jury's verdict in this particular case. Yes, retreat, and I will from now on. I did not travel, but my daughter did and brought the virus back home. It was not coronavirus. Oh, well, at least it wasn't coronavirus. 8 minutes left, Auntie. I think I'm going to be a little bit longer than 8 minutes, sweetheart. As we get older, the more things we seem to catch. You are so right. Man, Auntie, you need to drink some gin, lemon, and honey. Thank you, be kind. You still wear masks too, Fonda? I need to start wearing masks again. Because this is not cool. It's not cool at all. But let me just read something to you guys about what the rules state about the jury verdict. It says, yes, a federal judge can overturn a jury's verdict if the judge determines the jury did not follow the instructions given, particularly if the error was significant and prejudicial. This is often referred to as a judgment notwithstanding the verdict or a judgment NOV. I don't know what NOV means, but, and then it also broke down juror misconduct. These are some of the categories in which the judge could overturn a verdict. Juror misconduct. If a judge finds that jurors engaged in misconduct, such as considering information not presented in court or discussing the case with outsiders. This could lead to a new trial. Yes, Retretta. Yeah, I don't think I could deal with the whiskey. I'd be out for longer than the night. Oh my goodness. So, failure to follow instructions. If the jury's verdict is inconsistent with the judge's instructions on the law, or if the instructions were erroneous, the judge may overturn the verdict. Next category is judgment notwithstanding the verdict, or JNOV. This is a legal procedure where a judge can overturn a jury's verdict if the judge believes the evidence presented at trial was not sufficient to support the verdict, or if the jury applied the law incorrectly. Next would be the appeal. If a judge overturns a verdict, the party that lost the case can appeal to a higher court. The appeals court can uphold the judge's decision or reinstate the jury's verdict. And last but not least, jury nullification. While juries have the power to disregard the law and acquit a defendant, judges are not supposed to instruct them to do so and may overturn a verdict based on nullification if it was reached. So, yeah, but that might be the case due to Bird. But then again, this judge doesn't too much care for Diddy. Now, what happens if he overturns the verdict and gives a new verdict that's against him, more against him? Let me see. Retretta says, Auntie, that's a big deal because the jury was not locked up in a hotel. They went home. So why didn't the judge have them in a hotel? That's a good question, especially a case that big. That was a huge, huge case. But it was said they cannot overturn the judgment because of the double jeopardy. Well, now double jeopardy is a different situation. Double jeopardy means that it would have to be tried again. And I don't think they're trying to try it again. I think what they're saying is that he can overturn the the verdict and maybe come up with his own verdict. You know what I'm saying? But you're right, they were not sequestered. And they were communicating amongst each other. This guy basically tells on himself and the rest of them. Absolutely. They should have been sequestered. A case that huge, a trial that huge. You can't, you're not going to be able to expect those people not to say something to each other. You're right, Lawanda. A judge a judge can do all things through the court. Absolutely. Let's see. QT says, I think he should take his time and just do it. He's not getting out anytime soon or going to get a lighter sentence. I don't think he's going to get a lighter sentence at all. You're right about that, Retretta. His lawyers are going to fight it. They're going to definitely fight it. But whether it leans on their behalf or not is the question. That's the big question. So, let's see. According to the Inner City Press, the judge told the jurors and alternates at every break, don't speak with each other about the case. UN alternate George, who did not deliberate, told CNN, unanimously we said blank, blank, blank. He also said UNOCT does not work with U.S. law enforcement, and that was a lie. That was a big lie. Absolutely, Faith. First of all, this dude shouldn't have even been given interviews, to be truthful about it, not this soon in the game. The judge specifically instructed the jury when this trial was over to not talk to the press unless you've got all your ducks in a row, basically. And he just went out on an interview tour and got to bumping his gums everywhere. CNN, some other news unit in the middle of the night, and some things he contradicted from the other interview. So basically, he's gone viral, and they're talking about this all over the place now. Yeah. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and play this recording of this guy's interview, and I'm gonna turn off my camera because I need to step away for a second. But I'm gonna play this for you guys, okay? Let me get it ready for you. So yeah, this guy, I don't understand why he did what he did. I really don't understand because this guy, like I said, he is tied to law enforcement. And I mean, he lied and said that he wasn't. So, okay, you guys, let me get this ready for you. Let me turn off my camera real quick. Okay, you guys, I'm sorry about that. I had to get this thing together. My apologies. Okay, here we go. Ashley, thank you for having me on. Yeah, it's a lot. Everybody thinks jury duty. How do I get out of it? But you're an example of a shining fellow American who didn't do that, and you did your civic duty. And I know you're smiling, but I'm really pious about this stuff. I think it's really important. So, with that all said, did you agree with the verdict? I did. I did agree with the jury verdict. The whole thing, I took a lot of notes. I think about 350 pages worth of notes, about 3 steno pads worth of notes. I wasn't actually the one that took the most notes. There was others that actually took more notes than I did. I think 4 steno pads. But I think if I was able to review all my notes, review all the evidence, everything I needed to see, and also, most importantly, review the judge's charge. Faith, I was just going to say something about that as well. What happened to the Epstein list? All of a sudden, it just disappeared. That is some crazy business. I can't believe it. All this time, and that one attorney general, I can't recall her name, said that she had it on her desk. Retrita says, Auntie, please call it a night and go lay down. If you have Tylenol, take 2 and hot tea. When I feel bad, I drink peppermint tea with lemon. I will, sweetheart. As soon as I'm done with this, I really will. Okay? Bondi, that's her name. Fonda, I am jealous. You're getting chicken wings. I'm jealous. Okay, hold on just a second here.
Actually, you're having me on. Yeah, it's a agree with the jury verdict. The whole thing. I took a lot of notes. I think it's about 350 pages worth of notes, about 3 steno pads worth of notes. I wasn't actually the one that took the most notes. There was others that actually took more notes than I did. I think 4 steno pads. But I think if I was able to review all my notes, review all the evidence, everything I needed to see, and also, most importantly, review the judge's charges, I would have eventually reached the same conclusion that the 12 jurors found. And of course, there you were. The 12 went off into the room, and you didn't get to be the fly on the wall in the room. But did you all have the same sense? I know you weren't allowed to talk about the facts of the case, but you were with these people for 7 weeks straight. Did you all get the sense that everybody felt the same way all the way along, or was it poker face? You couldn't tell. It was. I think, in a sense, we were just all hoping. We were just kind of waiting for it to end. Every day. I think it was just because there was so much evidence and so much testimony, and it was like it was 7 weeks of witness after witness after witness after witness. So I think we were hoping for it to come all together. We were really waiting for the judge to give us his instructions to know what the definitions are, what we're actually looking to do. So I think we had an open mind this entire time, and it really was like a show, and we were just the audience and just waiting to hear everything, whatever both sides present to us, and then make the ruling. With that, I want to go sort of granular down to each of these charges, because when you listen to the prosecution's closing argument, she said to you, you can agree to have a lot of sex and would agree just one time. That's sex trafficking. And I felt like there was evidence where both Jane and Cassie said, I don't want to do this. And there was pressure. There was either force, fraud, or coercion. Did you not agree? Did you think that the women were not telling the truth? No. From the beginning, you could tell that. I mean, especially with Cassie, when she came in, she was, very visibly pregnant. I mean, she was extremely pregnant. So and even when Jane came, I think both of them were very credible. And as you listen to their testimony, and both of them, their testimony went for days. I think as you listen to them, some parts of their story at times, seemed like certain parts didn't really. There were a little bit holes, especially when under cross-examination. It raised a little holes of doubt, especially in my mind. Sure. Certain things. So I get that. I definitely get that. It raises certain levels of doubt because I love free coughs, right? There's that text message. I love to free cough with you. But do you believe, George, and do you think your fellow jurors believe that Cassie, let's just put Jane aside, that Cassie at least one time did not want to be a part of that? Say, for instance, after the escort testified that he could hear what sounded like Diddy beating her in the next room. And then they came back in and he said, finish strong. Did you believe that maybe that was an instance Cassie truly did not want to finish, but she was coerced into finishing that free cough? You know, when looking at everything, and then because defense, when they were showing, counter arguments, they would always show, the after effects of some of the, especially the text messages. And in those instances, there was also a lot of saying thank you sometimes, or, I had a great time. So those kind of instances really did, I think, raise a little bit of doubt. And then just to know that these freak-offs are, done in free will. Well, that's what I mean. So I think many of them seemed to be, according to the evidence, she was into it. She was organizing and saying thank you and all the rest. But that one freak off, that's why I get down to the granular. The one freak off where the escort said I could hear her being, what sounded like her being beaten. She came out and Diddy said, finish strong. And is it possible, again, in a reasonable, not beyond all measure of doubt, just a reasonable doubt. Is it possible that Kathy did finish that freak off under coercion because she had just been smacked around in the room next door? Well, it very well could be. But I think when you look at everything together, there was some doubt that the jury had to say that those two counts were not guilty. And maybe, I don't know if you agree with this, George, maybe there was too much information. Maybe the prosecution just handed you way too much to be able to kind of sort through it all, again, on that granular level. Is that fair? I think it is fair. I mean, there was a lot of information, I have to say. You didn't know, where to even, begin. A lot of times I would just walk home from the court all the way.
Retretta, honestly, I will go lay down as soon as I'm done with this, okay, love? Because you're right, I don't feel too good, okay? But I'm just going to finish this one recording out, and then I'm going to end the live right after this, okay? I promise. Okay? Just let me finish this one out, and then I'll go lay down. Okay, sweetheart? I promise I will. All the way up to Grand Central, just to kind of clear my mind of all the things, because it's just, it's just a lot of information. There's a lot of exhibits that they kept presenting. So, and every day was just, I always just came with an open mind, and I really didn't have my mind made up in either way, really until the end, until we were really waiting until the judge gave his 62-page instructions on what we need to do. And that's, I think, what I was waiting for. Just why are, what are we here for? By the way. It is. That's like every day. I do my math right. That's a lot. That's a long one. I have one last question. I'm going to make it brief because I'm running out of time, but I am so curious because as I watched all of this testimony and the witnesses every single day, I felt like I saw evidence of bribery, kidnapping, extortion, assault, corroborated by several witnesses, testimony, and messages. And those were all the predicate acts in order to find RICO, the racketeering, and yet the jury found no racketeering. What do you think that is? I think racketeering, and I mean, from what I understood, it's a very, all the charges are very hard, are very high bar charges. But when you look at the different counts, I think the defense faced some doubt in each one of them, especially, kidnapping, arson, forced labor, all of those different charges, because you had to find them in two. I think there was always a little bit of doubt. The prosecution did an excellent job. I have the highest regards for all the prosecutors. I was very impressed with them. But the defense did poke some holes in the witnesses' arguments on some of those charges. They did their job. They did their job. They poked a lot of holes, George. Yes. They got you to reasonable doubt. They got your colleagues to reasonable doubt. One last quick question. I knew that I said that was my last question, but I do have this one. Can I ask you this? What do you think of Sean Combs as a man? Any man who does domestic violence isn't much of a man, in my opinion.
it's anyone that beats a woman or hurts a woman is not a good person. And that was from the beginning. They had even the defense admitted that Sean Diddy Combs is he's a very flawed individual. So I'm glad that and the evidence was overwhelming that he's found guilty on these 2 charges. So I'm glad that he is going to face justice for that. John. Yeah. So I'm happy for that. And I hope he gets his max, whatever he can get.
Were you about to say you hope he gets the max?
I said I hope it's the judge's discretion for whatever however the sentence, but I hope and I know the judge has been fair this whole time, so I hope it's the maximum whatever is possible.
That's interesting. I want to thank you again for your civic duty and all
we have to find him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I think there was always a little bit of doubt in people's mind. And I think it was a tough case to prove, especially the first one. There was always a little bit of doubt there, even from the beginning.
Why did you doubt?
I think some of the charges, some of the witnesses, if you look at it one way, but then when you were listening to the defense, you could see it their way as well.
Were there any witnesses that made you think, I don't believe this?
There was one that I think unanimously we kind of all said like, wow, like it was almost like watching like TV. It was like like when I think her name was Dawn Richard, that one.
Mm-hmm.
When she on cross-examination, I mean, I never saw such a cross-examination. It was very impressive to watch.
What was it about it?
I think this how the defense got into her and really made her look very not credible. I mean, I even wrote in my notebook that it was like a takedown.
Really?
Yeah.
That was pretty early on.
That was pretty early on.
From the opening statements, did you have a mindset of who you thought had a better case?
No. I think overall, from the way I look at it.
Okay. I can take a hint. I'll take a hint. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because y'all are not going to let me finish this. I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. I appreciate you guys' concern. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I love you guys very much. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm gonna go wrap this up. I'm not feeling well, so you guys take it easy. I love you guys, and I hope to be back tomorrow. I plan to be. I'll take good care of myself tonight. But you guys just pray for me, and I'll be okay. I love you guys. Peace.
Hey Mickey. Oh Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you got my mind. Oh Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you. Oh Mickey, you're so fine.
Hit the like button. It don't cost you nothing.